Trust me guys, this is the key to achieving any success in life. What you're about to learn inside this video does not exist in any book. It is not in any program or in any course out there. It all came from these and from really ungodly amount of hours dedicated towards mastering the topics guiding human behavior.
I went from making $1.4 an hour from here to selling $30 million online while having not one, not two, but 3 kids.
Despair, shame, guilt, frustration, anger, those are not bad. Those are being labeled as negative emotion, but those are the integral part of every single human being. And when leveraged, I can promise you the fuel you can get from enough is enough and never again. That's something you won't ever get from visualization and from having these pleasant, nice, happy thoughts that are going to take you to your desired outcome. When you are sick and tired of the current you, of you now, and what you have in your reality, what you're surrounded with, and you say enough is enough, the pit opens up. And as soon as the pit opens up, you have to step inside. If you avoid the window of opportunity is so small. I'm saying opportunity because this is the biggest opportunity of our life. This is when we get molded. This is when we got under the blacksmith hammer. And this is when the journey starts to achieving your goals. So the pit of despair is actually the journey towards the goal. This is where goals are born from. This person here experiences pain from not having something and wanting it. From that pain, the pit opens up, and from that pain, the goal is born. So you have to harness the power of those negative emotions. You have to appreciate them. Motivation and discipline. Discipline is something that has been put on a pedestal by social media and guys who are supposedly disciplined for so long that people who are not disciplined are psychologically punishing themselves for being weak, for being pussies if you want. And that's completely flawed way of thinking. I will prove to you that even David Goggins, who's arguably the most disciplined man on the planet, and late Kobe Bryant, who was also so, or Elon Musk, they are not disciplined. You have 6 core human needs, which are significance, contribution, love and connection, certainty, variety, and growth. If you tie your goal and the behaviors that will take you to that goal to at least 3 of these 6 core human needs, achieving your goal will become completely automatic. For late Kobe Bryant, how do you put a person who's worth 200, 300, 400 million dollars at 3:30 in the morning in a basketball gym? You don't do that by discipline. You do that by meeting his core human needs. He had a need for variety and for certainty, and he was meeting all those needs by being there at 3:30 in the morning. He was certain he's going to be better than others by working out more. He had a variety of facing different opponents every day on the floor. Why do you think that David Goggins is still jumping inside the burning woods and burning buildings, and he is worth God knows how much money? Because his drive for variety is super high, and that's how he's getting that need met. Do you think that he's getting a huge amount of significance by being on social media talking about his superhuman achievements? Of course. Do you think that he's getting insane amount of feeling of growth when he's out there running 80, 90, 100 miles? Whatever he's doing. Do you think that Elon Musk is getting significance when he's launching the rockets to the moon or to the Mars? Do you think that he's getting the feeling of growth when he's contributing like that? Do you think that they are getting the feeling of contribution and connection? You know what is the 5 a.m. club? What is the club? The club is connection, love and connection. At the 5 a.m. people join that club because they are seeking connection. They get it there with like-minded people. So you cannot achieve your goals by being motivated and being disciplined. Those are just 2 sides of the coin. One feels good, the other one feels awful. Discipline feels awful. Motivation feels good, lasts about 5 minutes. Discipline, if you're crazy lunatic, you can push yourself. I tried, it doesn't work, and I'm a crazy one. But I thought for years that I'm disciplined until I understood what are the core 6 human needs. So forget about discipline when it comes to achieving your goals. Forget about motivation. You have growth, significance, contribution, love and connection, variety, and certainty. Find out how can you tie your big goal and the daily activities to at least 2 or 3 of these. And when you perform those activities, when you work towards that goal and you have your needs being met by doing that, no one will be able to stop you. For a man like that, the mountains will step aside. Goals exist within a hierarchy. The hierarchy of goals is pretty, I will be modest and say, neglected topic. This is so underestimated because young people have no idea how to properly set goals. There are two versions of goals. You have your big vision goal, this is your North Star. But then you have to come to that one. You have to go here in order to achieve that one. You cannot just visualize this one and be like, yes, I'm gonna have this, I'm gonna have this, I'm gonna have this. It doesn't work. You need input goals that are going to take you to your big vision or big outcome goal. And then we talked about time. Time attached to this one will send you straight to the asylum. You cannot tell the universe when you want to have $10,000 a month or $1 million in the bank. You are not the one to say. You are the one that has a saying in, yes, I will have it, but not when. On the input goals that say, hey, I will call 100 people today and every day for the next 6 months, then that's a great way to have a time attached to a goal. A goal is simple. 100 calls daily. That is 100% in your control. Closing 3 clients per day, that is not in your control. You cannot say that. That gives so much room for failure that it's inevitable to happen. Those goals are out of your reach, out of your control. Calling 100 people per day, evaluating the script, evaluating what you're saying on those phone calls, recording them, going through everything and improving, that's 100% in your control. Doing that every single day for the rest of your life, that's in your control. Closing a client is not. You don't know when you're going to close a client. You might go 1,000 calls without a single client, and then on 1,000, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, you close 5 clients in a row. So outcome goals are not supposed to have time to them. Input goals can have time to them. You cannot say, I'm going to have abs in 3 months. It's impossible to know. But what you can say is, I will do 200 crunches every single day for the next 6 months. And then the results will show. So forget about setting X in 90 days, X in 100 days, X in 3 months, X in 6 months. You are not the one to do that. You are the one to set a big goal and then dissect it back, go back and see what are the building blocks that will guarantee achieving that goal, and then set a time that says, every day I will call 100 people. Every day I will send 500 emails. Every day I will do 200 crunches. Every day I will approach 3 girls on the street and talk to them. I will not get married in 90 days, but in 90 days, I will every day approach 3 girls. In 90 days, I will have conversations with 270 girls. You can say that. But you cannot say, I'm going to get married in 90 days. You don't know that. Next one, context of goals. This is something you have to be very, very, very careful about. Everything can be good or bad, negative or positive, success or failure, depending in which context you put it in. To give you an example, if you're making $2,000 a month and you live in LA, you probably, if money is super important to you, you probably feel like crap. But if you come to a country where I came from and you make $2,000 a month, you are in top 2% of earners in the entire country. People are looking at you like you are some kind of an alien. If you drive a BMW that's 10 years old in Vegas, you're like, oh my God. But if you go with that same car in India, all of a sudden you're super successful. If you see someone in old beat up Toyota Corolla from 1999, you're like, wow, sad for him. But if you see Matthew McConaughey in that same freaking car, what do you say? What a stud. He doesn't give a crap. He drives a car that's beat up old Toyota because he's the man. What changed? Says it's the same car. The context changed. So within that context that you live in right now, which is probably social media and being heavily influenced by the fake success people are boasting about and painting on social media, they are not as happy as they say. Their bed sheets are not tidy when they wake up. You gotta understand when you're watching that video that they have a camera like this set up and the light like this and everything is being set up like 2 hours before they started shooting. So they woke up 4 hours before that. They don't look as good. So within that context, you're setting the goal for yourself. And that goal can be detrimental because that is not what you want. That's what has been implied by all of the dudes on social media. You need to be Adonis or whatever. however they call them. You don't need to. You have to set a goal to have freedom of choice with the way you're making money. That's the only goal you need. And from then on, if the goal is born to be the next Jeff Bezos, so be it. Go for it. But that's reserved for a very, very small fraction of humanity. Do not torture yourself with the goals that are implied to you within the context of social media. It's not the goal that they want for you, it's the goal that you want for you. Set it for yourself, but you know when and where? In silence. Silence is the key. Like this. Nothing. 30 minutes. Give yourself 30 minutes. Don't set the goals within their context. Set it with what you want. Next up, goals are not set in stone. We are living in times that are unlike ever before. More change happens in 24 hours than it used to happen in 100 years. So in order to stay on the edge, so you don't waste 5 years of your life trying to achieve a goal to become a miner while there are excavators being built and no one needs a miner. That's why you need to leave your goals adaptable. Goals are not set in stone. You set to become the best blogger in the world in 2002, and it's an awesome goal to have. But in 2006, 2007, YouTube is around. In 2011, 12, Instagram is around, or TikTok, or whatever. So pivoting is a great way to keep the end goal live while changing the vessel that's going to take you there. Blog is just a vessel. YouTube is just a vessel. TikTok is just a vessel. The goal is hopefully not just money, but at the very beginning, you can have money as a goal. It's not a problem. But then the next goal that you're going to set for yourself is not going to be about money. It's going to be about someone else, meeting someone else's needs. So you will be just changing the vessel and still trying to reach those people and give them what they need to achieve their goals. So don't have your goals set in stone. Make sure that you're ready to adapt and pivot, because adaptability is the only version of control in 2025 and the years to come. Next is goals are exponential phenomenon. Here is the curve. Here you have time. And here's the goal. Here's how it looks like this. And you have year 1 here, you have year 2 here, you have year 3 here. At year 3, you're like, fuck it, man, nothing's going on. I will never achieve this. Let me push for another year. Year 4, you're like, man, this is a disaster. Like, look at the results. Like, I started with 0, I'm like now at like 70,000, 4 freaking years. You know what happens here? Free fall. Happened to me when I just started. I was learning digital marketing and online sales and online business and copywriting for 4 years and 5 months. Not a dime earned. Then from the first cent I earned to $9,750 a month, it took me 3.5 months. It was this time here, and then it happened in 3.5 months. So this is the exponential curve of goals and how it works. Do not underestimate this, because it will cause you to quit here. And you're literally a day away from triggering the exponentialism of the goals and free falling. And trust me, it's one of the most beautiful feelings in the world. So have this in mind when you're setting your goals. It's not a joke. It can be detrimental. Do not be that guy from the meme that's digging for diamonds and stopping one swing away. Next one, the failure bricks. By the way, if you're interested, these are all coming from one of the best programs ever on personal transcendence. It took me 4 years to put it together, and you won't be disappointed. So, failure bricks. This concept is, again, a lifesaver, because if you reframe failure and you start looking at it from a perspective of, whenever I fail, someone gives me a brick, and then I can use that brick to put it here, and then my goal is here, and then the next one I get, it goes here, then the next one goes here, then the next one goes here, then the next one goes here, next one goes here, and then these are failure bricks. These are all failure bricks. And the next one goes here, and the next one goes here, and all of a sudden you are here. And the goal is achieved. And when you see failure like this, when you understand that failure is nothing more but the advancement towards the goal, then the question becomes, it's not how do I avoid failure, the question becomes how do I fail faster? How do I make sure that I fail every single freaking day if I can? But don't fail at the same thing. Do not build your bricks like this. This brick means that you're learning something. This one means that you're learning something. This one as well. So take the feedback that you're getting from failures and then pivot. If you call 500 people and you get from every single phone call, you get fuck you, fuck off. Might be something wrong with the script. There are two ways to gauge. Either it's a list or it's a script. Start from yourself. So failure is a beautiful, beautiful thing. And that's how success is achieved. So write it down. Failure bricks mean I'm progressing towards the goal. The faster I fail, the faster I will reach the goal. Next one is goals are future oriented. What does that mean? It means that this one, again, ties back to our pit of despair, the concept number one. You cannot achieve your goals by reacting to the present circumstance. You are getting what you have right now in your life because of the actions you took or the actions you avoided to take in the past up until this moment when you're watching this very video. And when you understand that all of the actions led you to the result that you have right now, that's what does this mean? Future oriented means goal is out there. It's a state that does not exist. You have to imagine it and put your star here. And then you have to start going backwards and see how you can get to there. You have I'll put together a great video that will show you the reverse engineering of goals. Basically, you start with, like, let's say it's a $10,000 a month. Then you are selling a service that's $2,000 a month. You know that you need 5 clients. In order to get 5 clients, you know that you need to go on 50 calls because your close rate is 10%. In order to get 50 calls, you know that you need to get 500 clicks from emails because people booking a call from your emails is at 10%. In order to get 500 clicks from your emails, you know that you need to send 50,000 emails because a click-through rate on email is 1%. And that's how you go backwards. And then you reverse engineer and then you get to 500,000 emails or whatever. This is just a stupid example, but that's how you go back. And at that point, you know, if I send 5,000 emails per day in 100 days, I will have $10,000 a month because I'll be working with 5 clients for $2,000. So I'll be putting together like an in-depth video about that one. But this is how you see a goal. Goal is something that exists in the future. Cat cannot do that. Dog cannot do that. Lion cannot do that. We are the only species on the planet that can imagine something in the future and then actually work towards it and make it happen. No other species on the planet. So appreciate it. Next one. This concept is so beautiful. This is crazy. But when you understand that if I could wave a magic wand and turn someone who is like heavily obese, 100 pounds overweight, and I can wave a magic wand and turn them into someone who has abs with the same thinking and same beliefs about food and same beliefs about working out and same beliefs about sleep and same beliefs about movement, it's going to be a matter of weeks or months until they gain all the fat back. If you're wondering how it is possible that someone wins the lottery and, like, I don't know, $100 million and they live worse 5 years after winning the lottery than on the day that they won, that's your answer. Because achieving the goal means nothing. It's who you become on getting to 5 clients. It's who you become after making 5,000 cold calls. This is my biggest confidence this year. It's not the knowledge. When I sit to talk with someone who feels like I'm not competent, I have these 9 notebooks in the back of my mind where I'm like, you have no idea, man. I have 2.5 thousand pages of research. That's my confidence, and I will fight for it. It's not that I'm like, this video is not the thing that gives me confidence. These notebooks are. So if you have the abs, it's not the abs that will give you the confidence in front of girls. It's who you had to become to get the abs. It's the person that wakes up at the same time, goes to bed at the same time, eats clean the entire week or month, that goes to gym, that works out, that's getting stronger, that's getting bigger, that's getting bolder. That's where you get the confidence from. You don't get the confidence from the number on the bank account. You don't get wise, you don't get knowledgeable, you don't get smart. You get that from the journey. You get confidence from 20,000 a month because you spent 6 months or 9 months dialing people, calling, being said to your face or to your ears to fuck off, that you are nothing, that you don't know what you're talking about, that you're a scammer. That's where you get the confidence from. And that's when you sit to talk with someone and someone says something to you like, you don't know, man. You know? And when they say, oh, it's easy for you, you're now making 50 grand a month. No, brother, you have no idea. You know? It's these bad boys here. 2 million words in Google Docs. That's me personally. That's what gives me confidence. Transcribing books by hand, transcribing courses by hand when I could not afford them. That's what gives you confidence. And then after year 1, 2, 3, or 5, when someone sits down to talk to you, you're like, oh my God, look at him, how confident he is. That's because he has money and a Rolex on his arm. No, bro, it doesn't come from there. So be careful of your desire to achieve those goals super fast. All the fun is on the journey, and all the gains come from the journey. Next one. The very nature of goals require allocation of time, energy, effort, and lastly, money when you have it. I love visualization. I love people who are talking about it. I love the energy. I love the frequencies. I love vibrations. I believe in that wholeheartedly. I believe that some people are carrying bad energy to them because they are constantly focused on the negatives, that there are people who, as soon as they shift their focus to the positives, can bring so much positive energy as well. And I believe that that can be felt. And I believe that visualizing your goal is a superpower that only humans have. However, I was building a course I mentioned a few minutes ago, and until I sat down and wrote 85,000 words, which is equivalent of like 300, 350 pages book, and then recorded all that, and then put it in the editor, and then edited, and then uploaded, and then set the presentations, and put everything in school, nothing happened. I visualized that course for months and years. Somehow it wasn't there until energy was deployed, until effort was deployed, until time was deployed, and a little bit of these bad boys. So goals imply that allocation of resources is required. You cannot just sit and lay back and pray and imagine that someone is sending you a check and then miraculously the check is going to appear. You cannot lay down and imagine a Ferrari, I'm driving a Ferrari, I feel good, I feel awesome, Ferrari is there. I mean, it doesn't work. You will end up being disappointed. It is absolutely fundamental part of achieving the goal because, again, that's the gift of the gods to human beings. We are the only ones on the planet that can do that can visualize something, imagine it, put it in our heads, and then work toward it and then make it happen. Only ones. But if you do not deploy one of these, won't come on. Next one. We have only 3 more. Goals give aim. Here's my version of it. Aimless mind is devil's playground. Aimless mind is devil's playground. If you don't have something to aim for, something to focus on, and something to work towards, there is no way for you not to fall victim to entropy, to societal requirements that are already pre-made for you and that are waiting for you whether you like it or not. If you don't have a goal and you don't have something you're going to wake up and work towards, let's say your goal is to transcribe 5 books by hand every morning when you wake up. You don't care about Facebook, you don't care about news, you don't care about the wars, you don't care about the presidents and the politics, and you don't care what the guys think and what the ladies think. You wake up and you have a goal, and then your mind is focused, laser focused. You open up a book, you start transcribing by hand. No one can derail you from that. If you have a goal to shoot a video a day, you will be planning and shooting a video a day. You have something to aim for. It doesn't matter. We are not talking about the results. We are not talking whether this is good or bad. I'm just talking about set it as an aim. Give your mind somewhere to look at and something to be excited about. Without this one present, the sheer nature of having a goal means that you have something to aim for. But this is why goals are so important and why those are absolutely crucial when it comes to nurturing the very nature of the human being. Which brings us beautifully to the number 12, goal-seeking machines. Men, especially, this is heavily exaggerated in men. We are goal-seeking machines. We need a goal. That's why we compete. That's why you have kids that are 2, 3, and 4 years old, 2 brothers that are fighting over who's gonna go faster to the toilet, who's gonna go faster to the bathroom, who's gonna drink a glass of water faster. That's why kids are doing that. And that's why society is, I don't want to say destroying it, but for some reason making it feel like it's something bad. It's the participation trophies. That's the thing. You don't get a participation trophy. And when you do that to young men, you kill the goal striving mechanism or the goal seeking machines that we are. You kill it inside men. And men without this is a ball scratching slob growing roots into the sofa below them. If you're wondering why we play video games so much, because of this: achieving goals, competing, being better than someone else. Why we play sports so much, that's because of this. So you are men watching this. You need to satisfy that need. The amount of suffering you will endure in life will be in direct proportion to how hard you're trying to suffocate this mechanism inside you. Give yourself a pleasure of a goal, and then give yourself a pleasure of going for it. It will be the most riveting moment ever. And this brings us into the next one, which is removal. Removal of the chaotic stimulus. If you don't remove chaotic stimulus, here's what's going on in the mind. The mind and the brain send the signal to dopamine receptors to expand or shrink depending on how high or how strong the stimulus that we are sending to it is. Meaning social media, porn, video games, cocaine, sugar, etc. The stimulus of those bad boys is 100. When the stimulus is 100, the brain will send a signal to the dopamine receptor to shrink it down to the size of a dust grain. The stimulus for working towards a goal and toward progressing towards a goal, the stimulus from that is 10, 12, 15. The stimulus from reading a book is 20. The stimulus from writing things down is 9. And if your dopamine receptors are the size of a dust grain, there is no way for them to register the stimulus, meaning that behavior will feel awful, regardless of how disciplined you think you are or how this, that, or the other. So in order to get addicted to the activity that's going to take you towards your goal, you need to remove the bad shit. You need to remove the chaotic stimulus. That chaotic stimulus needs to be scheduled. You need to schedule it later for the day, so you don't deplete your willpower in the early hours of the day, and you can work towards your goal. And then if you have to go play video games, go watch Netflix, but do that at very end of the day before sleep. Removal. In order to be a goal-seeking machine that you're born to be, you need to remove the chaotic stimulus, and then the activities and actions you're taking towards achieving your goals will become addictive. When that becomes addictive, you, my friend, are on a trajectory to superhuman achievements. Last one, the good old procrastination. Here's the reframe of procrastination. I want you to know that procrastination is something that happens to everybody on all levels. The best way I found to beat procrastination is the momentum. I just need to start. The 5-second rule, so 5-second rule. Open up the Google Doc and write a headline. Just turn on the camera and speak for 5 seconds. Everything from then on is like that psychological barrier just gets smashed. And everything from then on just moves flawlessly. So the psychological reframe of procrastination actually saves the dreams from dying. It saves the flawlessness of the goal. So the goal is flawless in the mind. This video was flawless in my mind before I started recording. But then when I started, I noticed that this blackboard is dirty, that this thing is not working, that this is not in focus, that this mic is not performing well, that my notes are off, that my headline is not on par with how I want to start my video. And execution and taking action killed the flawless dream. So as long as I was procrastinating, I had it in my mind before bed and after I wake up, and it was perfect. It was having hundreds and hundreds of thousands of views, and people are chanting my name from the rooftops. But as soon as you start executing, as soon as you record that video, as soon as you get into the video editor, you see how flawed it actually is. You see all the flaws of your goal. And that's why we cherish procrastination so much. Why is this important? Because now you can play with it. Be like, procrastination, thank you so much that you exist. I know what you're doing. You're protecting me. Can we come up with another way? Can we talk to our subconscious mind and be like, okay, this is protection from failure. This is protection from destroying the flawlessness of the dream. I appreciate it. Can we find another way? Let's test it out. Then we'll have another dream that's going to be flawless. But let's work on this one and see what happens. And let's set another one that will keep flawless for the dopamine and for the feeling of this is like a Netflix movie in my mind, then previous one will butcher it and start executing on it and see what happens. Trust me, guys, this is the key to achieving any success in life. When you understand goals on this level, nothing will stop you from achieving those goals. I'm gonna see you in the next one.